learned how much they sacrifice, learned how important they are to everyone in the United States, and how much we need to recognize that our lives are so much easier than what they have to deal with. Seeing what they go through, seeing how they are able to garner strength from things like our music. I remember going into one of the barracks and not even being announced. We just happened to walk into some barracks, they had no idea we were coming in, and they were playing our music in there. We heard story after story of them mounting loudspeakers on helicopter gunships and playing our music Apocalypse Now style, while they're going into battle, or before they would go through an incursion, or before they went into enemy territory or went on any mission. It signed hundreds, thousands of autographs, meant hundreds and probably thousands of troops again and again, and got to sleep where they sleep, eat where they eat. Got to try and, for the most part, without actually using live ammunition, which would have been kind of nice, feel a little bit of what they go through. We got on their simulators, went on a Black Hawk helicopter ride, but I think one of the most valuable things that we learned, that I learned particularly, was when we were in the chow hall with them one day. A lot of people always ask us, how can you be for the troops and yet against the war? And that can be very easily answered by the following situation. Like I said, we were sitting in chow hall with them, eating, and they have these television screens broadcasting CNN or whatever news network is on there all over the hall. And news came of a new IED explosion that hit a Humvee that took 5 soldiers' lives that day. And the 2 Marines who were assigned to us as security detail, who are, and all the rest of the soldiers who were with us as company at the table, who are some of the most gung-ho soldiers you'll ever encounter, all the look on their faces immediately changed to one of sadness and a little bit of fear and remorse, and it completely changed the mood and their vibe. And it was then that, it really kind of crystallized to me that even the most gung-ho soldier is inherently against war. No one wants to die in battle, and no one wants to see their friend die next to them in battle. So I think that kind of brought everything crystal clear. The album title, Indestructible, is a reference to several things. It is primarily a reference to the nature of the record. The record is meant, and our music is meant, to make you feel indestructible. It's meant to strip you of your fear and make you feel powerful and make you feel like you're able to run through a brick wall. It's meant to inspire strength. But it also has another meaning, and that is one of perseverance, and our perseverance, our being able to still remain a valid band, a band that has been able to withstand the test of time, one of the only ones within our genre that is still doing what we do. And we're very proud of that, and our fan base that has enabled us to continue doing that. Well, I think that when we first sat down to discuss it, Danny and Mike both asked me where my head was at in terms of the direction that we wanted to go with and where I wanted to go with things lyrically. And I said to them, considering how tumultuous the past few years have been, just throw at me the darkest, heaviest, nastiest stuff you can. And I think they were only too eager to comply.
Yeah, I think we were all on the same page right at the start, wanting to get a little darker, a little heavier, a little bit more attitude, and give him the music that was going to allow him to pull that out of him. Well, I mean, just for us to self-produce it, I think we've said it over and over. We've learned a lot from Johnny K over the years of him doing the first 3 records and also doing our demos before we were signed. And so, I mean, there's probably a good 10-year history with Johnny K, and we've learned a lot from him how to achieve what we were shooting for in the studio, and I think we were ready to take on another new challenge and a new role in our career. And we've always gone into the studio well prepared. We've done pre-production over and over, just beating the material up, making sure that what we have is strong and ready to be tracked right there. So I think our clear focus and our hard work, we were ready to take on that new role and prove to ourselves that we can still get the results that we're looking for. And yeah, it's just something new, something new for us to prove to ourselves. I think we work great under pressure, and I think that little added pressure definitely even pulled us together to get the performances that we needed off this record, because we knew that all the weight was on our shoulders, and any added pressure was something that we brought on ourselves. We wanted that.
This camera guy ate some sushi pizza.
That was bizarre enough, wasn't it?
Bizarre.
I don't know.
I had a kid while we were working on the record.
Yeah.
That's not all that bizarre.
Oh, kind of slowed
It's
things
nice.
down a little bit. It was nice. But
Yeah, we had we allowed John some time to go home and spend with his wife and his daughter, getting ready for the newborn son on the way. So as he was home, we were tracking our stuff, and as soon as she had the baby, what was it, the next day or 2 days later?
Within 24 hours, I was
Within
already
24 hours,
on
he
a
had to-
plane back
like,
to Chicago.
Congratulations, John. Come on out and track some bass, 'cause we're ready for you.
Yeah.
So
Actually, I ended up tracking some songs. That was one or two songs I hadn't even heard
yeah.
until the day I tracked them.
I wish I could-
Because you're good like
Little
that.
father. Yeah.
Yeah.
Made the most of it.
I am supporting Obama for this campaign. Like I said, I'm not sure where everybody sits, but I definitely recognize his ability to unify people. I think he's an incredibly charismatic individual, probably one of the most charismatic since either Reagan or even going back to Kennedy. I think that he has the ability to give a new face to the United States and to heal some of the wounds over the course of the rest of the world. I don't necessarily agree with his policies from a fiscal perspective, but I definitely recognize his ability to unify. And right now I think that's what's most important for our country.
More than anything, I'd like to see that it be an election that actually gets a resolution to it, that we don't have these issues that we've had the past two elections of, contested votes and, in Ohio and Florida. I'd like to see a clean, American election that we can be proud of and have a clear winner.
Good luck. I've always been cynical about that notion that all you need is love. Been cynical of the Beatles, but been cynical of that notion. I think that my mind is definitely adjusted, but not still I'm cynical of it. I think that it's not enough. I think that there's a lot of other things that have to come into play, and I think that I'm growing more and more accustomed to it, but it's something that I think I'm going to have to grow into slowly over time. I'm still learning to trust completely. It's hard for me to let go of my former